Hello, mages of all ages. This is Keejchen, and we have a special game for you today. We have a 2v2 domination game with Furno and KosmosAlive against SirJasonCrage and myself. What mages they're playing, we'll get into that in a moment. Before we start, you might note that we are in the replay mode here because I didn't do a sound test before the game, as I have failed to do before. I was in a voice chat with Mr. Crage, and I think we had a lot of good banter. So I'm very sorry that the sound is not gonna. Basically, he was. You couldn't hear him at all. So and as much as I like to listen to myself, I don't think that would be very interesting for anyone. So we'll have to redo the game. I didn't want to scrap the game. This is the first 2v2 first team game on the channel at all, and it's in Domination, which is also kind of special. So hopefully we get more of these, but I wanted to keep this one and roll it. So we'll go replay mode. I'll do the commentary post-mortem here, and we will see how that goes. This is only my second time really using the replay mode, so bear with me. I don't know if this will be as good as a live game, but we will see. Now, we'll go up to a little bit of a higher speed here until the mages are loaded in. Here we go. Oh, there's a lot of resetting at the start. It was really hard getting the game going. So bear in mind, if you are doing this yourself, you need to be really patient and keep. Sometimes the whole thing will bug out. Everyone has to do it perfectly, basically. So me and SirJasonCrage are the bottom here. We are a Siren. I am a Siren, and SirJasonCrage is a Warlock. And I suppose I should talk a bit about our plan for this game. He is running, or SirJasonCrage is running. I think he will show his book to us in a moment. So, SirJasonCrage is running his. I think we've had it on the channel before. A book where he's running Mort, then Ritual of Kalik, and then a Skeletal Knight. No, he starts with Mageddon, and then it goes Mort with Ritual of Kalik, and then Skeletal Knight, and then a Zombie Brute. So that's sort of his idea here. Our opponents wanted to switch around because they are a Druid and a Wizard, and they didn't want the Druid across from the Warlock, and so we were like, if you are going to switch, then we are going to switch too, and it's going to mess up the starting positions of the cards. So SirJasonCrage is asking them not to do that too. Anyway, so yeah, he's running his Mort book, and then I am complementing that with a Siren with skeletons, pirate skeletons, which we thought would be really cool. And then I am running a creature spawn point. It's here in my hand, the Echo of the Depths, that will put out Shows the Thrasher, so we have some small creatures to grab orbs with. You have to remember that orbs are really important in Domination. Did he share his book with us yet? No. Alright. But I have some zone stuff, and 3 shallow seas only, but there's only 4 orbs, so it should be fine. Ice spikes. I even took in the regular Viridian Lace. Probably too much equipment in this one. And a good amount of movement spells. I didn't have a lot of time for making this, and I don't think SirJasonCrage changed his book at all. So we could definitely have done more to play into it. On the other side of the field, as I noted, we have Furno, I think, is the Druid, and then KosmosAlive will be the Wizard. And we see SirJasonCrage's book now, so we will look at that. He's got lots of curses, a wide array of them. The Altar of Inferno is pretty good, actually, even in Domination here, and maybe also a little bit too much armor and equipment, but you never know. And then we didn't coordinate, but of course I should have taken over some of the Dissolves and Crumbles from him. And then what I really liked about his book was he had a lot of attack spells, which is really important, and most importantly, 2 very big fire area attack spells, and then the big creatures, which is interesting in Domination. He even has a brittle harvester. That's interesting. So before we move on into the game itself, we've actually already started here. In the first quick cast phase, the druid puts down a Samara tree, which is interesting. The wizard and the druid, I think, could complement each other really well, or yeah, they can definitely. Druid being notorious for having creatures that can't move, but wizard being notorious for having teleports that then can move the druid's plans, and they are, of course, really strong. Druid is really, really strong in Domination as well. Wizard, I think, could be too. But then they put down the Samara tree, and I don't really agree with that play. You need speed in Domination. You need to be going for the orbs. This is a very much a slow economy play, and in Domination, you want to go for the orbs as your main economy instead of putting out mana yourself, generally. So he puts out the Samara tree. We're playing with some different rules here that I should note. We have, during a creature activation phase, you can only do one quick cast action before or after. So you can't quick cast with both mages during one activation. That's one rule. We're playing for, I think we went for 11 points of VTAR in this game here. And we also have a rule that team mages have lifebond 2 to each other, like a druid has lifebond 3, so you can distribute damage. And then the final thing is if a mage should die, everything not attached to that mage, like conjurations, creatures, and enchantments attached to other things, will transfer to the surviving mage in case they want to keep playing. So that you have a chance to turn it around if you want to try it. So we're in the game. They want initiative, cast the Samara tree. Then SirJasonCrage opens with a and they put down. What did he do with his other action? Hold on. He put out a Mana Flower and a Samara tree. So that's the druid's action. Then SirJasonCrage puts out Mageddon and a Fire Shaper Ring, putting out some damage on the field. I think that's pretty good. I have Echo of the Depths and Shallow Sea in hand. Let's go ahead 1.5 times speed here. I'll just try to keep up with it. Maybe 2 times speed. The wizard is activating, and then he will be quick casting Battleforge into the Spike Pit zone. And then he moves in here. And the Spike Pit, when you move into a Spike Pit zone, you roll 1d12. If you roll a 9 or above, you get hit by the 4 dice unavoidable piercing 2 attack here. So he thought that it would be discarded if it didn't trigger, which it doesn't. It stays on the board. So every time people move in, it has to roll again. And then he casts a Mana Shard into the Samara tree zone. So we already see some teamwork between the two of them. I think they definitely talked together about the decks that they were running and made some synergies. Me and Crage did a little bit, but not so much. So this is pretty cool. The Samara tree gets the Mana Shard. So they're going really hard on economy. Samara tree, Mana Flower, Battleforge, and Mana Shard. Meanwhile, I move forward. I put the Shallow Sea in my closest orb zone and put down the Echo of the Depths. I do want a spawn point out so we can get some flashes on the board to grab orbs. And that's the end of the first round. We'll speed through it here, I suppose. I don't think I need to cut that out, but I just go 25 times speed. Maybe 10, so we can see if there's anything interesting going on in the chat. I'll large it a little bit up here. SirJasonCrage spent a lot of time policing the advancement of the phases. So then this round here we put out the Ritual of Kalik, and let us say, so right, he asked me to put in a Ritual of Kalik in my book so that I can cast it on his board, which will give me a little bit of a mana ramp to put stuff out of my Echo of the Depths. Can we Control P? Yes, Hawkeye and Mort on SirJasonCrage's side. Now we're in the game here, so we'll go speed 1.5. And I deploy a Shoal Steed Thrasher. On the other side of the board, we get a Seedling Pod out of the Samara tree. That makes sense. That's the only thing it can cast, and it goes into the Orb Guardian Zone. That's fine. And the Battleforge cast a Moonglow Amulet on the Wizard. So still a lot of mana build up, and I think way too much for Domination. But we'll move on into the first quick cast phase. No one is quick casting, I think. No, not at all. And we have initiative this time. Initiative is shared between the teams, so you can pick and choose who goes on your team at any given point. We chose to activate Mageddon. Then they will go. They are quick casting with the Druid. And what does she do? She's casting a Vine Tree, so even more economy. Vine Tree going down in here. And then she moves and casts Tattery. I think that is changed. Yeah, he decides not to move and instead cast Tattery and staying back. Alright, so even more mana. And SirJasonCrage is casting Mort, so getting another creature on the board. Big one. And then I will be casting my ritual on it. Then the wizard will have to activate. It's quick casting. And we go 2 times speed here. He's quick casting an enchantment inside this zone over here with the Seedling Pod on the Druid side of the board. And we don't know what this is. I think we speculate at this point that it is a teleport trap. The wizard will then move down into this orb zone here and sap the other Slack over here. Meanwhile, he blanks it, so no damage going in. Then I move up to just engage the Slack. I'm in the Shadow Sea, so I'm rolling 4 dice. And I also blank it, so no damage going in on any Slacks. Then the Slack will counter on me. I'm regenerating, so I'm not too worried, but it also rolls blank. So the first round, nothing really happens. Oh, jeez. Alright. I thought there was something else that I wanted to point out. Anyway, SirJasonCrage is casting a Hawkeye on himself here. Also rolling a die just to get the automation going. And then I am Ritual of Escalating myself to putting damage on Mort with it, that he will regenerate. And then I think that is the end of the round. Alright, we were confused about the rules for Slacks. So in this game, Slacks do not guard the entire zone, they only guard the orb. I think we will be changing that if we do this kind of game again, because it has been discussed on the Discord, and the conclusion is that the guards for Slacks works as normal guards and guard the entire zone. Alright, we'll go speed 5 through the... let's go speed 10 through the planning phases here. We'll see all the things. So far, yeah, not much has happened. We tried to engage and grab an orb early here, or at least set it up for it, so that the Shoal Steed Thrasher can go up and grab the orb next turn. Didn't really click, unfortunately. I'm preparing Shoal Steed Trident. That's the only one I'm really sure I want to do. I want to keep punching this Orb Guardian, and then I'm deploying Turgid to combo with Mort over here. Crage is doing Ritual of Kalik and Skeletal Knight. We're done with the deployment phase here. We'll go speed 2 again. So I deployed Turgid. And they are deploying... Oh, we already went through that. Damn, my bad. A Wine Snapper was deployed in the Druid's Orb Zone. Let's call it that. And then we have the Seedling Pod being deployed into the Wizard's Orb Zone. So this can potentially be a lot of build-up that we will have to worry about in the long run. But we are trying to win in the short run at the moment, me and Crage. We'll see how that goes. skipping deployment. SirJasonCrage being the only one with no deployments at all. Can you decrease the speed of it? No, you cannot. Go faster. Faster, faster. And we are in the actions phase. No one quick cast it. And Furno asks us we're doing shared initiative, and I think we agree. Yep. Good. This is the first time, I think, for all of us doing this, at least online. I have played team games before, and I've played Domination before. I don't think I've ever played Team Domination before, actually. So this is a first for me as well. The druid will cast a meditation amulet and meditate. So even more mana build-up being done by the druid. Oh, and the wizard deployed a leather helmet over here. Mageddon spends his action marker, just using that to pass. And then the wizard readies or spends his action marker and will summon a creature. Yes, a Darkfen Hydra, a big baddie. Which is fine. It's really good for both defending zones and killing slugs. And a Ritual of Calig on it, that it will regenerate. Maybe a bit hasty because now it's tempting to go and hit it. Oh, he's putting the damage on something else. Yeah. He's using the Ritual of Calig to put damage on the druid, which is absolutely allowed. Friendly creature. So really cool, and the druid will of course regenerate that. So good play, good play. Alright, and I attack the slug, but I forgot to cast my Showsteep Trident. I rolled the dice though, and I decide not to complain and ask for a reroll. I'm just gonna cast the Showsteep Trident after, and take that in stride. The slug will counter on me with 2 dice and roll 0, but I did deal 3 critical damage to the slug this time, which is really nice. So good. Then I'm done with my action phases, which is not really true because I still have a Thrasher. Oh, and I guess you can see the time up here. There's a big issue with the game, or running the game like this. I guess I can cover, if you don't see the time bar, it's because I've covered it in the editor. I could do that. I will probably do that. Butterfly or pass, says Mr. Crage. Oh yeah, because they still had Tatari available, and I think they forgot. They pass. So the Thrasher will move up and attack the slug. Now with Bloodthirsty, he's rolling 4 dice and rolls 5, killing the slug. Lucky that they didn't wait with the wizard, I guess, because then he could have gone and taken my orb right now, but they can't. And we have initiative next turn, so we will get it. Tatari moves down to defend. Okay, whoopsie daisy. Tatari moves down to this orb zone here. And Mort will double move forward to Jason's orb zone, and then he is casting a Skeletal Knight and Ritual of Caliging on Mort. Ritual of Caliging as a verb. Anyway, that I think is the end of this round. We will put the speed up to 10 again. Speed through the... we can go 25. Let's see what happens when I do 25. It goes really fast, obviously, but can we stop it in time? Can we follow what's going on? That is the question. I will try to stop it before the game goes into deployment. You can see the planning. No one's talking about anything this time around. Sod is joined. SirJasonCrage prefaces he knows that Sod doesn't like Druid, so goes Druid is awful as a greeting. This turn I am deploying a Showsteep Thrasher. I'm putting out a Red of Viridian Lace, or I have it in hand at least. The idea was to put a Song of Love on the Winesnapper here. And I'm AFK for a second, apparently. The Song of Love onto a Winesnapper, and then having it love the Orb Guardian so that it can't attack it. And I will attempt that later on, but if we look here, it says that the Song of Love put a love token on a friendly creature, which the slug is not. So I will be blocked from doing that, unfortunately. In the deployment, I am AFK, so I guess I'll be back in a minute. We'll go 1.5 times speed. They're just going to summon, so here comes a Wine Snapper on their side of the field, another Wine Snapper, both from the seedling pot and from the Wine Tree. So now we have 3 Wine Snappers in this Druid's Orb Zone. Very cool. And this could definitely be really, really strong. We are, of course, in our side of the board, we are already talking about Firestorm and Ring of Fire and how we can bomb this zone. The wizard is deploying an Arcane Ring, more mana gain, and I am deploying the Showsteel Thrasher into my zone here. Then in Quick Cast, where's Quick Cast phase? No one, I think, is quick casting anything. Actions phase, and we have Showsteel Thrasher will then activate this orb here. That part is automated, so I declare an attack. That's how that works. You declare an attack with the normal automation things. It does attack, doesn't really matter. It turns on the orb, and then it gives puts on a blue control marker by itself. And it also asks me if I want mana or life, and I'll take 2 mana for that. Then I'm trying to enchant the Wine Snapper, revealing it, and then our opponents will tell me that that is an illegal move. After which I think I will deploy or put out the Wreck of Viridian Lace, probably at the end of the round instead. Or just before Turgid activates, something like that. So we undo the Song of Love. JasonCrage doesn't like it. Oh well, I think it's fair enough. We should read the card, so obviously. Done with the actions phase, says Furno. Probably not. Wrong done. Yeah. So we're done. Now they have to activate something. Let's zoom in a bit. Yeah, that's better. It's a big board. I don't think they can pass. Can they? Maybe they can. They don't have a lot of active creatures this turn. This Wine Snapper will activate and attack this Slug or Guardian. 5 dice, dealing 5 damage. It will be counterstruck, but doesn't care about it probably, since it's since it's regenerating. It takes 4 damage from that. Darkfen Hydra will be enchanted by SirJasonCrage with an Agony. We can peek at that. There we go, an Agony. He also has a Firestream in hand, which I think the Firestream was in case he didn't get away with agonizing the Hydra. But now, when it's doing its triple strike thing, it will only be rolling 1 die 3 times. So that was, and I remember Jason cackling madly, like the madman that he is. Tatari will add 1 mana to a seedling pot over here. So, more mana being done. Tatari could probably benefit more from being the one who is grabbing orbs, but at this point there are no orbs to grab, so maybe it's fine doing it like that. Mageddon will move up. He is done being sealed, so it's also moving forward. We have quite a threat in SirJasonCrage. I quite like the synergy that we hit upon, where I grab an orb early, and then he builds up a massive attack force that can threaten their orbs. And that's sort of what ends up being the result. Druid spends action marker and meditates. Once again, I would probably have had her... If she had been hitting this slug, it would have been dead, and then Tartary could have easily killed it. So that would have been Probably the better play. They would have gotten a lot of mana out of that, and then starting to get Vitar. Jaxmat joins the game, and SirJasonCrage is done. Skeleton Knight has also double moved up, so now the entire beatdown team is up here. Then the other team will have to activate. I think they only have the Wizard. No, the Hydra is activating, and they don't know yet that they have a Agony on, but they might suspect it. Here it goes. The Agony is revealed, and the Hydra will be rolling 3 dice against this Orb Guardian. Probably not dealing a lot of the damage, since it also has 1 armor. It needs to roll either 2 normal or critical damage to even do anything. First one is a dot, then it deals 1 damage. And the final strike, it deals 1 damage. 2 damage going in on the Slug. And then it will counter strike the Hydra. But again, the Hydra is regenerating, so why does it would it care? Why did it auto twice? I'm not sure what he means here. And it deals 1 damage to Darkfin Hydra. Not really of any concern. Then we will have to activate on our side, and we are debating on what to do. I think we are going for taking this orb over here as well. We have Turkard, Mort, and myself to kill this 1 Slug and grab it. So we're attacking with Mort first. Mort can technically, with a bit of luck, he could one-shot it, so we will go for that. If he lands the Taint, that would be amazing. Deals 3 damage and a Taint, so that's 6 damage going into the Slug. And they have the Wizard on their side. Such gotta run. Alright. And the Orb Guardian retaliates on Mort, dealing 2 damage, which will be removed, so fine. Now the actions phases for Crage. And the Wizard. The Druid is quick casting on the Wizard. And I think I guessed at this point that that's probably Hawkeye. And that's really smart. They put the Hawkeye in the Druid book. That's amazing. And then he's summoning a Devouring Jelly. Another big but slow creature. I think I like big but not slow creatures more in Domination, because then you can move and grab orbs and threaten orbs and stuff. These 2 creatures, while they are strong and we don't want to move into the zone, we don't really fear them, because they cannot threaten our orbs. If they have to use 1 action to go in and then another action to even take an orb or do anything. And this guy cannot even really guard, so it's not super good for Domination. Well, whatever. The Wizard will then, he reveals the Hawkeye, or Furno does, and then he attacks the Orb Guardian with a Sap, dealing 5 damage, almost killing it. Again, I would probably have done that before moving Datteri, just in case they could have gotten that orb that turn. Turkard would then activate. No, I think I decided to do it with a Siren. So I'm casting the Wreck of the Viridian Lace over here. Conjurations are not affected by the Domination tiles. Then move over because I have a better attack because of my piercing. Try to kill the Slug. It is dead. And then, since there are no other active creatures, Turkard will then move over and grab this orb. And we also decide at this point that Vitar is not shared between teams. And the orbs are not shared between teams. So we cannot give them mana to SirJasonCrage. Otherwise, I probably would have split it between us so he got a bit more. But I can spend the mana, so it's fine. And now we are getting 2 Vitar per turn. Again, I think we're going for 11 points in this game. And we'll speed through the planning and upkeep phase at speed 25 here. I think that's the entire round. Yeah, Vitar is shared, but orb control is not. Okay. We'll peek at SirJasonCrage's card here. Ritual of Kalik and Firestorm. So yeah, the Warlock advanced to the center and is now threatening this zone with a Firestorm, which we both agree will be a very, very strong move. We could try to... we want to wait until they kill the Slug, so we don't help them kill the Slug. But other than that, it looks good. Then, unfortunately, deploy a Vine down here. Oh, let's go slower again. Because I was going to run a Show Steed Thrasher in here and then up, or double move up and try to trigger this trap. We are still thinking that it is a teleport trap. So them putting a vine here is unfortunate, or at least we were sad that they did. I have Gerard Matranka on my Echo of the Depths, and I have teleport and force push. We were gonna force push Tatari into the zone over here, or whatever we can manage to push in to be in the firestorm. Anything. So a movement spell to help with that. Oh, they put in. Yeah, I don't like when people put in wine tokens before deployment, but whatever. We'll go speed 5, 10. Here we go, deployment. So, Gloves of Skill coming out for the wizard. That's a good play. And then a seedling pod is being deployed down in our zone here. So now we can once again double move through with the Show Steve Thresher. And I was cheering, because now we get to do our thing. And I deploy... Well, they also deploy a Thorn Lasher into our Firestorm zone. So we're feeling really good about this round here, both me and Crage. Yep. It's looking good for our big area attack spell. Deployment phase. End of deployment. I need to deploy Gerard, and he is coming out. There he goes. Ideally, he would be out a bit earlier, but he's still good as he's coming in now. Not as good against plants, obviously, because of his piercing thing. The first quick cast, I don't think we are casting anything. I have Force Push and Teleport, that I already noted. Do it, spends quick cast. Readies it again. I think he is quick casting. No. No. Right. Actions phase, then Druid spends green action marker, and then meditates, and then conjures a rain cloud in the zone. So that's a bit of a mind read there, and I think very well, good play. Rain cloud will give everything in here flame -2, and so they probably saw the firestorm coming. Very good play, I think. So now, since they're plants and they already have flame +2, we would. If we roll a firestorm in here now, we would just roll it as a normal firestorm, and I think we immediately decide that we're gonna do it still anyway, and I think Crage is even like, he doesn't even care. I still think it's a good play, because it is gonna mitigate a lot of damage, but it would have been better for us if it hadn't been there. And so I double move in my Show Steve Thresher, and prompt them to reveal, but it is not a trap of any kind. So that's a misplay on my part, or a bad read. I for sure thought that this would be a teleport trap. It is not. So now we have Show Steve Thrasher in here. That's the gambit that we were doing. If it's not a trap, then now my poor Show Steve Thrasher is caught in the blast. Of course, he's got the rain cloud protection and he's regenerating now, so maybe it'll be okay. The Wine Snapper in here. Is he gonna do anything? We didn't wanna blast the zone before they've destroyed the Slug. So that's what's gonna happen now. They are gonna Wine Snapper attack Slug. And they deal 6 damage, so the Slug is indeed dead. And at this point we are counting creatures on our side. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that can move in and take orbs and attack and hit guards, and they only have 2 creatures in here that can interact, and they can take the orb Tatari and they can guard with the wizard, but we still have more creatures, so we will win the orb if we want, and we also have the Firestorm to preface that with. So I think we were talking about whether or not we want to go in and grab the orb right now, but I think I advocate that we shouldn't. We should just blast the zone before things start moving. So and we are going to kill Tatari, of course, as well. She's going to be pushed in with a force push, taking away another creature. Good call on the cloud from I tell them, but we're not done. So Firestorm going down in that zone. Boom. But they reveal a fortified position, so they have both a rain cloud and a fortified position. I think that's amazing, both prediction and play. This is some good synergy. The fortified position being a war school would cost extra in Druid, but they put it in the Wizard, just as they did with the Hawkeye for the Druid. That's really, really good teamwork. Anyway, the Firestorm then destroys Tatari in the first roll. Would have happened on average. Then Thornlasher is hit by the Firestorm, dealing 5 damage, and I don't think... Yeah, that's a burn. Yeah, it's just unmodified rolls because there's Flame -2 and Flame +2 for plants. Let's go speed 2. So the Thornlasher will take 5 and a burn. 3. Oh, it's only 3 because of the fortified position. That's so good. So good. Well done. Winesnapper, taking 4 criticals and no burn, but putting it at 7 damage, so that's good for us. Then the Seedling Pod here is going to get hit, take 4 damage, and I think it has 2 burns. Only 1 burn. 4 damage, 1 burn. Short-Steed Thrasher, only taking 3 dice, but taking 4 damage and a burn. And the Winesnapper here, at full health, will take 8 damage. That's 6 then, and no burn, but it's still a really, really good roll. And then the Winesnapper here, taking same amount of damage, 6 damage and 2 burns. So really, really good rolls on our side for that Firestorm, killing Tatari, more than half killing most of the Winesnappers. And the Rain Cloud itself, Crage didn't realize that it actually hits itself with the Flame -2, so it's only 3 dice against the Rain Cloud. And it will be re-rolled, and he rolls more damage, but then I think he decides that they get to stay at 1 because he made the mistake. That's fair. And right, done. Very cool. I think that was a all-around worth the cost for sure. Everything in here is damaged so much that 1 hit from any of our big creatures here will probably kill them. And so they are in deep, deep trouble right now. But the fortified position in the Rain Cloud, it's going to heal our creatures more than it's going to heal theirs, because of all of their creatures already have regeneration. So it's a two-edged sword, in a sense. They pass. Then Turgid will move up and grab the orb, because he was our lowest dice creature. They really should have grabbed the orb, I think. I don't know, because they need to guard as well. And so we get the 2 mana for that. And we're now gaining 3 Vitar per turn. And now if they're gonna hit the orb, then they're not engaging our creatures with the 5 dice. So they're either losing 5 dice by attacking the orb, or they're attacking Turgid with 5 dice, and then they're not getting the orb. Domination is super tricky. What do you go for? You need both to win the creature war, but you also need to not lose the Vitar game at the same time. I would probably go for trying to win the creature war if I were them at this point. I don't remember what they do here. The Winesnapper is contemplating activating, but then didn't. Yeah, one of the Winesnappers activate, and then it is going for the orb. Removing my control, making the orb neutral. Then what? What do we do? I think we are just gonna start killing creatures. Yeah, this part is not automated. So once the orbs have actually been turned on by a melee attack at one point in the game, the rest of the times you need to manually spawn and move control markers. Unfortunately, the whole domination thing is not fully automated. But the most important part, the first part where it turns on the orb, is manual. No, automated. Alright, so we move up with my Siren and try to remove the surviving Winesnapper that's still active, and we get it, so that's 1 less active creature on their side. making it even harder for them to achieve zone control. I have piercing 2 on my attack, so I was ignoring the fortified position. Also really nice. Then the wizard is gonna move in, attack the orb, gaining control. Again, probably not the right call. He maybe wanted to guard here, I think, so that we don't destroy the creatures that they have. But it's tricky. At this point, they are really far behind, and they sort of need like an area spell as well to, like a tsunami from up here. Look at that. Would have been amazing, pushing down into the spike pit. Yeah, that would have been really, really cool. So you can maybe tell that that's not going to happen, but that would have been really, really nice here. Try not to give too many spoilers. We can move up with more to take out another Wine Snapper. Dealing 6 damage. And it was at 7, so it goes away. Jeez. How did it deal 6 though? Shouldn't have. That's the fortified position. Interesting. But whatever, it would have dealt 4 anyway, and it would have killed it. Because it doesn't register the fortified position as a friendly enchantment, of course. I don't think the Octagon interface doesn't realize that we are in teams. So that's why. The Darkfin Hydra is going to attempt to kill the Slug here. The Slug only has 1 health. So it just needs 1, but the first roll of 1 die is a fluke. Second one deals 0 damage as well. The final one deals 1 critical damage, killing the Slug. But I had left 1 Show-Sleeve Thrasher here, ready to pounce, and will immediately move in and claim the now unprotected orb, gaining me again the mana boost for that. And then we once again see the difficult position that puts them in, which is, do you hit the Show-Sleeve Thrasher, killing it, or do you take the orb, wasting 5 dice, basically. And I think the right call here is to go for the Show-Sleeve Thrasher, otherwise it will continue to battle for the orb. You need to remove the creature and then take the orb to maintain control of it. That is my opinion. But the Devour and Jelly will go for the orb here. And I think they were feeling really threatened by our Vita gain, which is fine and understandable. So we lose control of this orb again. Then the Skeleton Knight here moves up, and we just decide to claim this orb here, gaining 3 Vita per turn. And then what happened here? Mageddon. Did we move up 2? Did they have control? Maybe they had control here. Yeah. And then SirJasonCrage both moved into Skeleton Knight and the Mageddon to claim the orb, gaining us 3 Vita per turn. So we end up at 3 per turn, ending up at 5 Vita in total at the end of the round. And then they concede the game, which is understandable at this point. So let's pause it here and say, I don't know, I'll let it run at a slow speed here. So we'll get a bit of the final discussion in the chat. But it was a short game, and I thought I didn't want to scrap it because it's the first 2v2 domination game that I have had the chance to record, and then I didn't record it, of course, but whatever. And the first one we've played in a while. I think we are planning to do more, and I hope we will get to record those, and I'll try to do a better job of it and catch all the good banter. I think it was important to show this game for several reasons, both for the joy factor, but also for sort of showing the strategies. I have played a lot of Domination, so I sort of knew that how to go about it. You need to grab orbs early, where our opponents, they had a really strong strategy that would have been good in a non-Domination game. In this case, they end up being too slow, and also normally I wouldn't recommend SirJason's strategy for the game, for the Domination either. But complementing it in a team game with one who grabs orbs early and then doing a lot of strong creatures to challenge the enemy orbs, I think that's actually, I didn't realize, but it actually ended up being really, really good. So that's really, I really enjoy that, and I just sort of, I think we hit on a really, really strong combo between us here. So yeah, what to take away from this is definitely, instead of going for, I think the most of the things are alright. The meditation amulet is where I draw the line. If the druid had been in here fighting, guarding, attacking, they would have gotten the orb earlier. Also gaining the mana, maybe not as much, but you gain Vitar then, and you gain zone control more. I just think that would have been a lot better, and I don't think, and then I would probably, so I would cut the meditation amulet, I would also cut the Samara tree. It is way, way too slow for Domination. I have tried to run Samara tree in Domination, but the opponent has 2 or 3 Vitar before you get your first orb, which is the problem. You can complement that with a faster book, which I don't think they sort of did. The wizard was a little bit faster, but then the big slow creatures didn't really complement it that well. It could have been... it's tricky. I don't know what kind of creatures the wizard has that could be good then instead. Maybe the gargoyles would have been fine. Similar creatures. The gremlins. The gremlins are really good. They can't guard, but they're really good at grabbing orbs everywhere. Going through walls. Walls, you usually see a lot of walls in Domination. They could have also just put up like a wall here, maybe. That would have been interesting. And again, I think it's too late, but a tsunami from here, which they might have had. A tsunami is washing everything except the plants away and also extinguishing the fires. Yeah, that would have been pretty amazing, actually. Just basically our entire creature force except one Show Steel Thrasher would be potentially murdered. Actually, I think if they had a tsunami in the Druid book, they wouldn't have been able to afford it next turn. Oh yeah, they would. The mana shard. Yes, you could have given the Druid 1 mana with the mana shard, and then do a tsunami here, pushing everything down. They could have tried it. You never know. The dice might favor you. I think that would have been fun. That would have been pretty cool, actually. Just trying it. Washing everything away. It probably wouldn't win them the game, but you never know. It could have. The dice sometimes are crazy. Alright. That is the end of the video. I don't think I have anything else to add here. It was a cool game, and I'm looking forward to more team games, both Domination and whatnot. And I hope you guys enjoyed. See you in the next one, and bye-bye.